I used to be a follower of the intellectual dark web. I got sucked into this group of sophists when I was about 16 years old. I was very impressionable intellectually, and I found a lot of these thinkers from Joe Rogan at the time when he was really taking off in 2017. And it sent me down this intellectual conservative echo chamber that took me a few years to really get myself out of. And I look back at that period of my development and I cringe. I think about a lot of the things that I would say and believed, and it really triggers my responsibility OCD to even think about at times. Because getting out of that kind of informal cult thinking basically required a whole 180 of my personality and way I looked at the world. And I grew up in a pretty liberal family, so I always was sort of subverting what they believed when I thought I was saying the truth. But actually, it was just really naive. And it took me reading a lot of other philosophers and thinkers to get myself out of it. And these thinkers for the intellectual dark web that still are making all these videos trying to come across as free speech mavericks, challenging something that's powerful, just fits perfectly as like this outskirt narrative to the conservative Trump part of American culture, and is basically a gateway drug to all these very dangerous ways of thinking that a lot of people get sucked into. And they aren't really talking about what's going on in the conservative realm and the QAnon kind of stuff that they basically just don't emphasize because it doesn't go along with their narrative. And their effect on our culture is going to last a lot longer than most people think. And they're still making waves, even though it's changing. And I'm not afraid of them. And I think we need to not forget about the kinds of effects they had on people who are now in their 20s, in the ableist narratives that they spun. Ideas about like competence, hierarchies, and the relationship that like meritocracy should have to welfare state and helping people who are disabled mentally or physically. These rationales are going to have long ripple effects on our culture.